sunny skies, beautiful beaches, incredible cliff-top views, and tide pools full of life. That, my friends, is camping on the Oregon coast in summer.
We're going to be talking a little bit about Forest Service campgrounds versus state campgrounds, and why and how we picked our camper. We are the learners and makers.
After a couple of camping trips in our camper, we felt like we wanted to cap off the summer with a little larger adventure. We wanted more like around a week or so, and we wanted to camp in a couple of different spots. We had an opportunity to camp with some friends up at Cape Perpetua on some National Forest Service campground land. And we also wanted to camp at a state park where we could also hook up the camper to power and water and really kind of try out all the electrical stuff and the water stuff that we hadn't really gotten to use yet. So it was a great way to cap off our summer of camping and really get to know our camper and how we could use it and just how well it worked for us.
It was really great that we got this opportunity to try out Forest Service campground and then also a state campground, because they are really different. So if you, I'm not sure what it's like in other states, but if you're camping in Oregon, the Forest Service campgrounds usually have no hookups. I think there are a few here and there, but it's harder to find them. It's harder to reserve them. And they're just fewer and far between.
Yeah.
But the state campgrounds usually have quite a few, and you can either have like a full hookup or you can have just electric and water. If you are maybe a little unsure about camping, the Oregon State Parks is a great way to start out because most of them, on the coast anyway, that we've been to have like flushing toilets and running water and showers. So if you are unsure about doing more of a kind of roughing it camping, it's a great introduction to camping.
The way a lot of these campgrounds are sited too is really nice. I mean, one, these are areas that the state does a really good job maintaining, and there are often other recreational areas that are right there. Might be a stretch of beach, might be a lake, but there's also something right there at the camp area, so it's really easy to roll out of camp and roll right on to some sort of fun adventure or activity for you and your family. Part of our adventures around Cape Perpetua is we wanted to get down and do some tide pooling. There are some great beaches in this area around like Casita Head Lighthouse and a few other spots where you can really get down, catch the tide at the right time, and see some beautiful marine life. So we loved being able to romp along the coast for a while. When the tide is low, you can also actually go around some of the headlands and go into some of the, not quite caves, but little scooped out bits where you can feel like you're going deep into the land, especially when you're a child. But being able to do some tide pooling was a really big thing we love to do, and we don't often hit the tide times right when we go to the coast.
I know, we still don't really understand how to read the tide tables, so if you have any tips on reading tide tables, will you let us know in the comments below, because that is a skill we probably should have as Oregonians.
Hashtag tide pool game.
We were lucky a friend kind of said, this is when the tide is going to be low, we should go to the beach. And so we followed their advice, and we were so glad we did. We have several other videos, 2 other videos with this particular beach. Yeah. But this was the lowest that we'd ever seen the tide, and it was really, really special.
It was the most we've been able to range around all those areas that are underwater during high tide. So that was really fun too.
And by far the most wildlife that we've seen in the tide pools, especially at this beach. But yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah. You might be wondering why in the world our family of 4 chose a pop-up camper for our camping adventures. There are a few reasons. One, budget. We could afford to buy a pop-up camper.
They are really cheap.
They really are.
Because they really haven't changed that much. I mean, if you get a new one, you're going to get more bells and whistles. But generally, they're kind of the same.
It's a pretty timeless design.
Yeah. So you can get a used one for very reasonably.
Mm-hmm. On our blog at learnersandmakers.com, we have a post that goes into more detail about the budget and how we bought the camper and what we were looking for, and how Jody and a very handy neighbor of ours tested it out before we bought it. Another reason we bought the pop-up, reason 2, is it fits. We can park this in our driveway. We don't have to have a special pad for it. We didn't have to have we didn't have to have a bunch of concrete laid down somewhere. We don't have to pay to store it off-site somewhere. We can just park it in the driveway, hook it up, and go.
Yeah. We wanted something that really made camping easier because we felt like every time we went camping, just getting the gear together took at least a whole day.
Yeah.
If not more, and it just, we wanted to have something where we could, like you said, hook it up and go.
The other reason 3, we went with a pop-up camper, is it fits our car. We have a Subaru Outback, so by having a pop-up camper, our Outback can haul that no problem. We didn't have to upgrade to, say, a pickup truck or something else like that that's heavier duty. So with our current lives, we could get a camper for a reasonable amount of money that fit everything we already had. So it's kind of no fuss, no muss, keep it simple, and we can rock it. I've been really impressed at how well the Outback tows the camper. There's hardly any strain, car runs great, handles really well, which brings me a lot of peace of mind since I'm usually chief in charge of getting us there.
I did look at small campers, and the thing we kept running into was just everybody's sleeping space.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really fantastic small campers and teardrops and stuff, and if you are just 2 people, super easy, that's a great choice too. I mean, your choices just open up for a small camper. For us, being a family of 4, this really just made a lot more sense. And we did end up opting for pretty much the smallest pop-up camper we could find that we could all sleep in, and, that it was just so that it was easy to tow and we didn't feel like we were pushing the limit of our car.
Exactly.
We have a few other videos where we show some of the renovations that we've done to the inside, mostly just cosmetic renovations. And we finally came up with the name for our pop-up camper. We kind of knew we wanted to name it, but we couldn't come up with what we wanted to do. We decided the name of our camper is Bebop. That just felt so right when I think you said it. Our camper is Bebop. So
it was either Bebop or Serenity.
Our true geekiness is coming to light. We are really excited to share more of our adventures. We've already started our camping season this year. We've got some really great things to show you, and continue to kind of show you how to travel through Oregon and the Pacific Northwest and affordably. So we hope you'll continue to follow the adventure here. And if you really found this helpful or liked it, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so that you can see our future adventures with tips and things to do around this gorgeous state.
You can follow more of our everyday adventures on Instagram at Learners and Makers. We also go into more detail on destinations and our just travel lifestyle as a family on our family travel blog at learnersandmakers.com. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
We're going to be talking a little bit about, what are they called?